Good afternoon once again, book lovers of the internet. I am Book Nerd 802, and in this video, I am going to be reviewing Alice in Borderland Volume 5 by Haro Aso. Now, this one, much like the others, has about 430 pages, and I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. So, there will be spoilers ahead, just a bit of a heads up there. So, this one consists of the King of Clubs game against Kuma, which has to be one of my favorites in both the Netflix show as well as the manga series. And Kyuma is such a goated character, and there was honestly so much to learn from reading about the interactions between the characters during this game. Basically, the moral of the story is that it bodes well to live life like there's no tomorrow and not to dwell on the what could go wrongs of life. So basically, if there's something you feel like you should tell someone, then just do so. There is no point in thinking about what might go wrong. It either will or it won't, but you should always take your chance, right? And honestly, this philosophy is one which I wish to apply more to my life, and I don't think many people um, consider this philosophy realistically. Many people seem to take life for granted. They are always thinking about what to do next in life and never really live in the moment anymore. They are always planning ahead as though they are certain that that point in the future will arrive when truly we don't really have a guarantee. Now, this point, of course, is magnified by the fact that the characters are in Borderland, but in real life, there's no point in not thinking and philosophizing in the same way. And the fact that Kuma is a nudist ties in really well with his attitude towards life in general. Now, in the show, every time Kuma has to be naked in front of the camera, there is a clever way of covering his private parts, but in the manga, rather than something covering his junk, it is shadowed out basically. So we get a Kendall sort of impression rather than something cleverly hiding away that which we should not need to see. So I rather hate how Niragi almost got a redemption arc and then messed it up, and this is one of the only moments in the series where we see Arisu act aggressively towards another character in order to protect Usagi from an unfair and unjust situation. Niragi was once again trying to take advantage of Usagi sexually, and Arisu stepped in and protected her at all costs. And I was happy to see that um, happening, of course. Um, what I found to be brilliant about Niragi was that he was able to strategize the game better than Arisu did, even though the game was ultimately won thanks to Tatta, despite the fact that he created the mess they found themselves in to begin with, and then he ultimately martyred himself. I will be telling you more about the conclusion of the game in the following review of Alice in Borderland, because Volume 6 is when it finishes, and I've read that one already. I just have to write a review. So I'll tell you more about it in another video. And I don't think the character he could have decided to take out would have made much of a difference, because it ultimately all boils down to the points. So he is blamed for not killing the king of clubs, but at the same time, him having killed any other character would have resulted in the loss of 10,000 points for his team. And basically, this is a game of sacrifice, nobility, living with no regrets, and appreciating the time we're given, which sounds like a way in which I could gamify my own life. And honestly, make Yuma rest in peace. He definitely deserves it. He lived without any regrets, he did all that he wanted to, and he didn't care about the judgment of anyone else. I was also very happy to see one of Chishia's games portrayed as a side story in this volume too, since he's one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite character at the stage. I mean, his nonchalance is brilliant to see, something that I also wish to emulate. This is something that I've said before and I will say again. I was pretty weirded out by the fact that he wasn't in the Jack of Hearts game in the following volume, because he is in the show, and the show seems to follow the manga series quite accurately. but Chishiya not being in the Jack of Hearts game really changed things up, and my perception of the series changed as well because without Chishiya in the game, I didn't find myself caring as much. Um, and yes, I have already read Volume 6. I will also speak more about it in my next Alice in Borderland video. And this volume also introduced Heia's character. I believe her name is Akane Heia, her full name. Although I'm not much of a fan of hers despite her persistence and will to live. Um, my perception of hers is very similar to that of Niragi's. Um, and I didn't think that the manga series would consist of Heia losing her leg and having it replaced, as was the case with the show. And I was fairly surprised that this was the case with the manga as well, because I thought Netflix did this, that is to um, get her to lose a leg and then replace it with a prosthetic in order to be more inclusive. But as it turns out, the manga does keep in mind people from all walks of life as well. And yes, walks of life is definitely an intended pun, and apologies in advance for the dark humor. But anyway, that is all I had to say about Alice in Borderland Volume 5 by Haro Aso. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Um, Take a look at the rest of my videos because why not? They are absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.